Join me as I dive into the surprising connection between witchcraft and modern science. Can I uncover the secrets that link these seemingly opposite worlds? Witchcraft and science. Two words that don't exactly go hand in hand in our modern imagination. We tend to think of witchcraft as a relic of the past, a superstitious practice that was long ago replaced by the rational, evidence-based approach of science. But what if I told you that the roots of modern science are actually entwined with the practices of witchcraft? That's right, the very same witchcraft that conjures up images of pointy hats and broomsticks. Many of us have a rather distorted view of witchcraft, shaped by Hollywood movies, Halloween costumes, and centuries of misinformation. We think of witches as evil, pointy-nosed hags who mix potions and cast spells to harm others. But in reality, witchcraft has a rich and complex history that's deeply intertwined with the development of modern science. The witch trials, the Inquisition, and the subsequent suppression of witchcraft have led to a widespread misconception that witchcraft is purely superstition. Witchcraft has historically been associated with fringe groups, occult practices, and alternative spirituality. And while it's true that some modern witches do identify with these labels, witchcraft has also played a significant role in the development of scientific thought. Think about it. Many of the earliest scientists were also alchemists, occultists, and yes, even witches. The boundaries between magic and science were blurred in the early days of scientific inquiry, and many of the pioneers of modern science were comfortable operating in both realms. But how does this square with our modern understanding of science as a rational, evidence-based discipline? Can we really reconcile the idea of witches and warlocks with the empirical method and the scientific revolution? The answer lies in the historical context, and in the ways that witchcraft practices influence the development of scientific methods. Herbalism, for instance, was a key aspect of witchcraft that paved the way for early pharmacology. Witches were known for their knowledge of plants and their healing properties, and this knowledge was later adopted and adapted by early scientists. The pursuit of alchemy, another area of witchcraft, laid the groundwork for modern chemistry. It's easy to draw a line between the alchemist's quest to turn lead into gold and the modern chemist's pursuit of synthetic materials. In the 17th century, a group of alchemists in England, known as the Invisible College, began to adopt more empirical methods in their pursuit of alchemy. They started to conduct experiments, collect data, and publish their findings. Sound familiar? These early scientists, who were also practitioners of alchemy, were laying the groundwork for the scientific method as we know it today. Then there was Agrippa, a 16th century philosopher who wrote extensively on witchcraft, alchemy, and occultism. His work, De Occulta Philosophia, is still studied by historians of science today. Agrippa's theories on the nature of matter and the universe were remarkably prescient, anticipating some of the key discoveries of modern physics. One pivotal moment that showcases the connection between witchcraft and science is the story of Francis Bacon, a pioneering scientist who's often credited with developing the scientific method. Bacon was deeply interested in alchemy and occultism, and his work on inductive reasoning and experimentation was influenced by these pursuits. Bacon's emphasis on empirical evidence and the importance of experimentation helped to establish the scientific method as we know it today. And yet, his work was also informed by his interests in alchemy and witchcraft. This blurring of the lines between science and witchcraft is a recurring theme throughout history. In summary, the connections between witchcraft and modern science are far more extensive than we might have initially thought. From herbalism to alchemy, the practices of witchcraft have influenced the development of scientific methods and thought. Thanks for joining me on this journey into the surprising connections between witchcraft and modern science. If you have any thoughts or comments on this topic, please leave them in the section below. And if you're interested in exploring more of the weird and wonderful connections between science and the occult, be sure to check out our other videos.